is an Oscar-winning actor you know from movies like Traffic, Sicario, Reptile, and The Usual Suspects. He stars in the latest Wes Anderson film, The Phoenician Scheme, which is in select theaters now and everywhere June 6th. Let's take a look.
Where's yours?
I don't have a passport. Normal people want the basic human rights that accompany citizenship in any sovereign nation. I don't. My legal residence is a shack in Portugal. My official domicile is a hut on the Black Sea. My certificated abode is a lodge perched on the edge of a cliff overlooking the sub-Saharan rainforest, accessible only by goat path. I don't live anywhere. I'm not a citizen at all. I don't need my human rights.
Please welcome back to the show, Benicio del Toro, everybody! Welcome back. How are you?
Good, good.
I love this movie, and I love Wes Anderson films. This is your second Wes Anderson film.
Second one,
He
yeah.
works with a lot of actors a bunch of times, so it must feel great when he says, "Hey, you're going to be one of my guys now."
It's like taking a motivational pill. It just keeps you up all night, and you're like ready to go. And number one, the story. He's a great writer.
Yeah.
Two is the character that I did in The Phoenician Scheme is, you know, it's complicated. It contradicts itself. It's got a great arc, and then the cast. If you do a Wes Anderson movie, you will have the opportunity to work with some of your favorite actors ever.
This character is it's like a very different than anything I've seen you do.
Yeah.
Bad guy who kind of finds his way to a different path.
Yeah, a good guy.
Yeah, I'll say it.
Yeah, he becomes a good guy. Yeah. Which is, good for the good guy.
Yeah. I feel like even when they let you play a good guy, like we're supposed to think he's still kind of a bad guy.
Well, he's got to start somewhere.
He's got to start somewhere,
yeah. So, you know, it's also is a comedy. It is a comedy. So, you know, you just, and I was a little freaked out about that because the movies I do usually are dramatic one way or the other. But you know, Wes said, you know, just do it as straight as you can. And, you know, if they laugh, they laugh. If not, F them.
It's, you know, I feel like everything in a Wes Anderson film, you know, is famously meticulous. And even in that scene, you know, what a beautiful interior of like an old private plane.
Yeah.
But do you feel it as an actor that you have to be aware of the set around you because so much of that is the visual frame as much as you?
Well, you know, in this movie, he had more than a couple, he had several real paintings. We had a real Magritte on the set, and the paintings came with, you know, security.
I would expect,
Two people standing there watching the painting the whole time.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it was pretty funny.
It's really nice to know in this era where people are like, AI can do everything, that Wes is like, no, I need the real painting.
Yes, definitely, yes.
It really speaks to that kind of filmmaking.
Nice. Yes.
The first scene, I'm not giving anything away, and your character, it's established very early, has had multiple attempts on his life while he's in an airplane. He's crashed multiple times. And this is something, because again...
I love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
They're like, it does sound like a comedy.
You gotta go see it now. Okay, yeah.
But there's this, I would imagine this is sort of page one of the script, correct?
Right.
So you actually, you had the script on your computer, which makes total sense. And
well, I usually have I usually like a script that I can touch and I can write on it, you know. So I tell you a story of something that really happened that's really funny.
Okay.
I had the script in my carry-on. I'm in Boston.
Yeah.
And I'm flying to LA. And for some reason, I had my computer in there, and I didn't take it out. So the TSA people, they just said, hey, we need to check your bag. Sure. Opens the bag. He looks into it. And I take my scripts, and I make the headings bigger, you know, so I can get to it really quick. And the opening scene is interior airplane bomb. The second scene is interior cockpit, eject the pilot. And the third scene is crash. And the guy looks, I'm looking at it, he's reading it, and I go, it's a film script. It's a film script. And he looks at me and he goes, and he closes the thing and he walks out, and 5 TSA guys come over and they hover around the script and they're looking at it and they're looking at it. And then finally the supervisor showed up. He had a tie and he just walked in and he looked at me and I think he recognized me maybe from Sicario or Traffic.
Yeah.
And, you know, he just sat there, he looked at it and they let me go. But you know what? I gave that guy a thumbs up because he was paying attention.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, he was actually...
You got to give that guy credit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if, let's say, he let you go and then something terrible happened and he would tell the supervisor, he told me it was a movie. And they're like, and you believed it?
It was a checklist. It was a checklist.
It was a checklist. He's like, oh, a checklist.
Yeah.
I have a lot more to ask you. We'll be right back with Benicio after this. Welcome back. We're here with Benicio del Toro, everybody. This is a story. Your character reconnects with his daughter. That's sort of where you find your humanity again.
Yes, she unlocks his conscience.
Yeah.
He's a tycoon. He's not such a nice guy.
Yeah.
When we meet him, as bullyish of a businessman, and but he's a rascal. But there's a redemption that he subconsciously he kind of knows is right there.
He has one daughter, and she's a nun, and that's a very helpful person to show him the better path.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. She kind of like.
Yeah, Mia
Puts him on track. Mia Threppleton,
she's a fantastic actress.
Fantastic. She did a terrific job. It's her first big movie, and she's terrific.
You have a daughter yourself.
I do.
Teenager.
Yes.
Is she at the age now where she can engage with your work? Because it's not a lot of kid stuff.
Well, yeah, she does a little bit, but you know, I'm kind of like dad, laid back dad. But I tell you, actors, I had a lot of lines to learn in this movie. And actors can, you know, will run lines with anything or anyone. And I had her sit down and run lines with me. You know?
That's really...
Yeah, and that was cool. That was cool.
Did she enjoy doing it, or did she feel like she had
tired,
to?
And I said, no, we're going to do it 3 more times. 3 more times. Yeah. But she did a good job. She did a good job, yeah.
Sicario would have been a fun movie to run lines with you on.
Yeah.
Mostly because you just had so few. I feel like you did a lot of stuff where,
Yes,
you did a lot of stuff with like just shaking hands, less dialogue.
Right.
You went back to your high school.
Yeah.
They invited you. You didn't just show up.
No, I still have a key or two.
How was it? How was it speaking to the students?
It was great. It
Yeah.
was great. You know, it was really interesting because they wanted to know about success and about following your dreams and the obstacles and how to deal with, like, you know, the failures of anything. And, you know, as an actor, you fail quite a bit.
So many times, yeah.
So, you know, my advice is, like, you know, start working on your short-term memory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's really, you got to turn the page.
You also, I do think, have to, you know, sort of have your antenna up to catch the successes as well and, like, enjoy them. So the Cannes Film Festival, you went there the first time with Usual Suspects, correct?
First time, yeah. Not in competition, but we showed it in Cannes, yeah.
And did you have a sense, like, before it was shown to the public for the first time, that it was going to be the kind of movie that it ended up being?
Not in France.
Yeah.
Because, it's because they left. It's because I think the French audiences, they're different.
Yeah.
American audiences, they talk back. Yeah. They're just like, hey, oh, come on. I wouldn't do that. Bull. You know, but the French audience is quiet. So I don't know. It felt a little weird. Plus, the character I played had a very particular way of talking.
Yeah.
And it's funny in English. But in French, you know, if you don't speak English and you're reading subtitles, it's the same.
That's true. Yeah.
So it was kind of like, but, you know, I think the movie, when it showed in Sundance, it went really well, yeah.
And was that something, were you able in that moment to be like, oh, this is what I had hoped it would feel like?
You never know, you never know.
Well, that's really cool. Yeah. Well, I love this movie. I love having you here. Thank you so much, Benicio.
Yes.
It's always such a pleasure.
Thank you.
Benicio del Toro, The Phoenician Scheme is in theaters now and everywhere, June 6th. We'll be right back with Stephen Graham.